What is actually happening in SoFi right now? Just weeks ago, after printing a record $1.1 billion in revenue, the stock is getting slammed, down over 5% today. With blowout revenue, raised guidance, and management pricing a 54% surge in profitability, but the stock is selling off. This is the kind of disconnect that creates either massive opportunity or absolute disaster. So today we're cutting through the noise with no hype and no headlines and just looking at the straight technical analysis. We're going to be breaking down the real support levels and what the chart is signaling right now and whether SoFi is setting up for a generational buying opportunity. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, here we are on this daily chart of SoFi, and the first thing I want to acknowledge on the chart is that, with our trend algorithm pro, it has detected that the stock has been a sell ever since the date of the 3rd of February of this year. And, it shifted from being a very nice bullish trend all the way towards now the initiation of a downward trend. Now, the stock being down now 7% on the day is kind of a warning sign here. The majority of investors have been seeing some concerns here with the overall AI trade and the SaaS sell off. There's been a lot of concerns that maybe AI will replace important financial institutions or even software, and it's been impacting heavily SoFi. But if we look here on the chart, there's been a deep break and a deep disconnect between important support zones. We've been, breaking below an important area of support, which was this prior swing high anchored VWAP, which was at $21. We sliced right through it exactly at that zone. We broke below it, and then even this swing low anchored VWAP of 22, we sliced below it. And the last area of support that I was looking for a hold was here at the $18.72 zone, which, if you look towards a weekly chart, because that is how disconnected the trend is from the overall upside, is that it was a swing low that we formed here in August of 2024. So we are not even holding that level. If we look at the weekly, it's been consistent weeks of selling here. There was an initiation of selling here on the 26th of January of this year, but particularly here, if we actually look at the overall trend structure and the overall price action, right, we had a stage two, right, upside, the markup phase. This was the distribution phase, and now we are seeing the decline phase here. So we could see further downside of SoFi towards levels of support of even $15. This would match with this 200 EMA on the weekly, and it would be around $15.30. Now, in this case, we would expect something over the next couple of weeks like this. Price action comes in, retest, and then probably see a bounce, right? That is what we would like to see on this name, with initiation of higher highs and higher lows to initiate that upward trend structure here on SoFi, right, to reach its levels maybe towards here 24, or even levels of resistance like here at $29. Now, if the stock continues to sell off just like the general market has over the past couple of weeks, then we could even go lower towards level of $12.72, which is less which is the next area of support here on SoFi. Now, moving back towards a daily chart, our trend algorithm has been detecting that the stock has been a sell at an entry price of $22. And if we look a little bit closer here, for example, if we look at the volume, it has been picking up ever since the earnings date. Selling volume has been increasing, the buying volume has decreased, and this has allowed for that formation of higher highs and higher lows on SoFi stock. So if you look at the formation of the current trend, right, so we have the lower high here, right, and then we have this lower low right here, this overall structure, and then this is another formation of a lower low now that we saw the sell-off here, and then we had this higher low formation here as well. So SoFi is still going to be selling off. There's been a lot of concerns as well with the institutional selling that's been occurring on the stock, especially concerning the CEO. But there's also been downgrades here with SoFi being maintained as a hold by Truist Securities. This kind of came as a surprise here, as there was an overall hold here on by Truist. But I do believe that generally we've been seeing the sell off primarily because of this concern about AI replacing the majority of SoFi names. Now, if you look here, the average volume in the past 30 days has been 56 million. We've done a little bit less than that here as of today, but we're still seeing the sell off, which is incredible. Earnings have been beating every single time. That is why I see a true disconnect here. The fundamentals are increasing, they're achieving profitability slowly, and this could be a good generational buying opportunity here on SoFi. Even if you look at the quarterly revenues, they've been expanding. We have net margins increasing over time as well. And even though the stock is down already 33% year to date, so around a third here, there is still some analyst ratings coming here with the 1 year price target of $26, which would imply a 48% upside. And it would make sense here. That would be the pretty much last area of resistance that we had. If we do see this bounce at the lower levels of around $15, I wouldn't be surprised to see the stock slowly move up towards that level there like that, and maybe find that heavy resistance, some sellers that emerge here from the prior's levels, and then we see again a little bit of a sell-off, right? That would be again the stage two, the markup phase, exactly at this zone here, stage two markup. This would be distribution phase, and then on the decline here, right? So right now I am expecting SoFi to sell off a little bit before we encounter the um, how do I say it, the accumulation phase, right? So after this decline, I would expect this to happen, right? This stage before the markup, exactly here, from here to here, would be called the accumulation phase. Now, during this accumulation phase, exactly right here, what tends to happen is that the sellers, they become less aggressive, and buyers, sideline cash, slowly starts to see this name as a discount. They start to initiate their positions, and they start to bid up the supply here. That's exactly what I believe is going to happen on SoFi. So first of all, I maintain my support level of $15.30. If that level breaks, then the next level of support is going to be $12.72. And if we do bounce, price targets are going to be towards $21 and the price here of $25 on SoFi stock. Bottom line, SoFi is in a technical no man's land. Analysts can talk about $31, but the chart is bearish right now, and price action always wins. My advice for traders is don't try to catch the falling knife, wait for that confirmation and a possible reversal sign at a stronghold of $17.50. For longer term investors, the story may be intact, but the patience could give you a better entry. So what's your move? Are you buying here or are you waiting for $15? Drop your price target below and subscribe to the channel. And remember, don't let the markets whip you guys out. I'll see you guys in the next video.